happy holidays. We have just made it past Thanksgiving. We are on our way to Christmas. And hey, are you still gardening? I am. Not a ton, but I'm still gardening. And so if you're still hanging in there for the gardening season in the month of December, let's talk about today what to plant for December. We'll go over our November harvest numbers, and we'll talk a little bit about tips and things to think about December so that if you're not completely distracted by all the food and the presents and getting together with people and all the things that come with holiday season, you got some gardening things on your mind. So let's get started. It's a little weird harvesting peppers in December. I don't think I was such a good gardener last year that I would have been doing this. I feel pretty good about this. So let's first talk really quickly about what were our numbers for the month of November. So in November, we harvested 8 crops. I was double checking my numbers because I was like, did I? And I guess I did a little bit of this, a little bit of that. So we got 38 pounds in the month of November. Now, when we look at 2022 numbers versus 2021, I knew we were gonna have a lot less because last year we harvested 550 pounds and 190 of those came in like 1 weekend. We had bananas, papayas, and sweet potatoes all get harvested really rapidly in one single weekend. But this year, you know, with the hurricanes and all the crazy weather we've had lately, I was just kind of hoping we just could be more steady with our pace. And we hit 8 crops and 38 pounds, and we saved about $31. Though there's some, I still haven't gotten my loofah dollar numbers yet. So loofahs are in here, and that means they're not being costed. Oh, and also another new crop, which we'll talk about in a second. So what was really exciting is we got 1 rack of bananas. And the reason that was exciting is because we ran out of bananas a while ago. I have been targeting about 225 pounds of bananas, and this rack brought us almost exactly to target. The thing is apparently we used more bananas than I had estimated. So I'm gonna have to up that number to figure out. But that's okay, because we have a lot more bananas on the trees. Trees, you know what I'm talking about. Got a lot of banana racks. I think we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 on there right now, and we might have a 5th one drop in the month of December, but that's a big question mark. So when we look at the 38 pounds, the number one thing that was driving pounds was bananas. Then a really good contender is peppers. I was actually looking at some stuff across the year in my handy dandy planner. And what I noticed is that peppers has been one of the most consistent crops month after month after month after month. Basically from our warm season through our hot season back through our warm season, every month they are just doing a really good job of producing at least a pound, maybe 2 pounds, depending on the season. And it just makes me think, like, while this is not the time of year for peppers, when we get back into pepper season, this is definitely feels like one of those really good investments that you're going to get a really consistent harvest regularly and that you can integrate in as part of your diet. So peppers are good. So with the peppers, what we did is we got just under 2 pounds again. So we got Cubanelles, which the Cubanelles have gone really strong for spring, summer, and now back into fall. We got a jalapeno harvest, and I got a couple of bell peppers. So that's been really exciting. We've had like a nice little mix. And another thing that we harvested this month, that was the first time I harvested it, was Roselle. I am really excited about this. I know Ron had said he got in his harvest and he's already made some Roselle jam, and that was really chef kiss good. I can't say, Ron, that I've gotten a chance to do that yet, but I'm really excited. I was looking up videos and now I got a whole pound of roselle. So I'm really, really excited. I got a little bit of staining on my hands from them. And I'm really excited because I didn't feel like I had a lot. I only had really one plant that took off enough and flowered and everything. But it got me really excited that in the future, if I could put them in a different location, that we should be able to get a really good crop. And if the roselle jam is as good as Ron told me and some others have told me, I am looking forward to trying that out. In addition, with the harvest this month is where we're actually starting to kind of go into one of the most classic of winter crops for Florida, and that is citrus, specifically oranges. So we did have a couple oranges. I think with all the highs and lows with the cold snaps, we did end up getting some to mature a little bit on the early side. So we just got about a pound of oranges, and then we actually, the calamandas are ready to go. I could have technically harvested them in November, but with Thanksgiving, I was just like, I don't want to pull out the we needed the space in the fridge. We needed the space in the fridge for all the Thanksgiving stuff and then all the leftovers, so I didn't need to cram it with calamandas that I was going to have to like make into marmalade or calamanda juice. So those will end up being a December harvest, but citrus is coming in strong right now. So I expect across December, we're going to probably get some citrus harvesting. Well, I know, because calamandas, there's a ton of calamandas ready. What I think November officially marks, and let me know if this is the same for you, is it's the end of all of our hot weather crops. So from Puerto Rican black beans, loofahs, roselles, okras, it seems like all those crops we are just totally done. We still have some warm weather crops that are continuing onward, like tomatoes and peppers that are producing, and we'll see how far they get into the winter time. But it seems like if you have hot weather crops, especially central North Florida, I'd be shocked if you go beyond November. And if you've been gardening all year, that means you have a bunch of space for things to plant for December. So let's talk about what can you be growing for the month of December. So when it comes to December crops, really, this is going to be some of our faster crops, right? It's going to be a continuation from what we've been able to do the last couple months. So we are definitely in cold weather crop season. So you've got all the things that are kind of like what you hear about from them northerners for a real long time. So we've got things like lettuce and carrots and onions and beets and radishes, and of course we have things like potatoes, which I want to try doing potatoes, but I don't want to try doing it right now in the middle of the holidays. I don't know about y'all, but I gotta like flip some beds and stuff like that before I'm gonna throw some potatoes in. But if you are wanting to grow potatoes, now is the time of year you could grow potatoes. You also can add in things like your broccolis and, I was gonna say cucumbers, that's the wrong vegetable, cauliflower. So you can get any of those plants in right now. They're really good. And I know a couple of you, similar to me, we had some struggles with our strawberries that got eaten by pests. The weather's been so wackadoodle weird. So depending on where you are, maybe in central Florida or the northern parts of South Florida, it might be worth trying. I know, Connie, you just sent me some starts, so I am going to go try to take those starts that I got sent anyways and try to see if I can get them going for this time of year. Because the challenge I was seeing is that we had that cold front, which was great, pests, bugs down, right? But then we heated back up so much. And I personally just saw such an increase in insect activity during that time period. And now we've gone back down to kind of our typical November, December weather, that I'm seeing it come back down again. So I think it's worth a try. I think I'm also a little challenged by shade, so I'm trying to figure out a different area for strawberries. So when it comes to December, let's talk a little bit about things you should be thinking about with your crops. So whether you're gonna plant from seed or transplants, you do need to think about the fact that we are in the dry season. So our rain is super inconsistent, though it was just like the other day, I know it was the end of November technically, we got a deluge of rain. I was shocked, I tell you. But remember, a typical December is gonna be rather dry. We're gonna get maybe some light showers here and there. You're gonna have overcast days that are rather misty, but you're not gonna get inches and inches of rain. So you are gonna need to supplement one way or another with your crops when you're establishing them. So whether you use your sprinklers or a hose or a watering can, like just remember that's gonna be part of what's going on. And especially because it's December, I will give the friendly reminder of it's the holidays. It is super easy to neglect your garden. And you know what? It's okay if you do. Like if you're focused on family and holiday stuff and all that comes with like the Christmas time period, like that's okay if you just want to let your garden go a little wild. I might let mine go a little bit really wild and then pull it back together in January. Don't feel bad if you're just like, oh man, Jacqueline's doing it, and other people who watch the channel are doing it, other gardeners are going, but I've got lots of stuff to go do. Like, don't feel bad about that. Enjoy the season for what it is. Remember, gardening at the end of the day is really about bringing joy into your life. It's not supposed to be a burden. So if your garden looks a little crazy in December, it's fine. January, you know, make a New Year's resolution and we'll get it back on track. I know for me, there's a lot of like things I want to work on, but I'm really trying to prioritize my list of like, what do you need to get done in December? Because there's a lot of family things that we're going to be doing. Plus, I still got 2 more birthdays to get done in the month of December. So, and birthday party for the kiddo. So we've got a lot to go on. So I'm just trying to make sure I'm being very realistic about what am I starting in the month of December and what am I going to get going, because we can still, like, all these crops I just listed, you're going to be able to do them in January too. So don't fret if like your plan doesn't go to plan. Prioritize what's important in life, and that gardening might not be on the top of that list. Ain't saying, I'm just saying. So for those who want to be doing gardening stuff, and that's totally cool, if you've got the time and you've got the availability and the resources to do it during December, that is awesome. And one of the things I would recommend that you should consider doing in the month of December is large projects. Large projects, couple reasons. One, there's some sales going on with different companies, so you can sometimes pick up some stuff a lot cheaper than you might in other times of the year, though a lot of really good gardening sales do happen during the springtime period. But because we're in Florida, we're kind of in this like catch-22, is that like we're really starting and getting going like in January, but a lot of gardening sales and equipment they don't always happen in the time of year that we would like it. And by the time they are getting going for the rest of the country, then we're kind of coming down off of stuff. So sometimes this is a really good time of year because a lot of those companies, I know, they have been reaching out to me like crazy. My email box went, I'm so sorry if you've emailed me recently, because my email box exploded with a bunch of companies being like, can you promote our item? Which 99.99999% of those got an absolute no thank you. But there are sales going on, so I just want to acknowledge that. And the weather is a lot nicer for being outside. The sun's not as intense, the heat and humidity are down, so it's actually a lot nicer to be outside doing projects. So if you had something in mind, from raised garden beds to trellises to moving tons of dirt and earth around, like, it's totally cool. This would be a good time of year to do it. So something to consider, large projects, because you can get stuff on sale. No, sometimes in January there's additional sales because of inventory they planned on moving in December. So you never know, there might be some good deals, but I know right now that everybody and their mom wants y'all to buy stuff for Christmas. So yeah, so you can do that. And before we go and just do like a really quick tour around the garden of some of the things to help you kind of keep in mind what things might be looking like for you, and that like you're okay, you're doing okay, and it's the holidays, it's okay. Just a quick update on the planner. So the planner is in production. I don't know that we're going to be able to have like the physical book version by January 1st. We will have a digital copy absolutely available January 1st. That is not a question. So I will have it one way or another January 1st, something, but it may not be the book. I'm really working through this. It's a totally new process for me, and I really do appreciate all those who are excited about it, and I really appreciate your enthusiasm. I feel like it's just, I'm going through I'm learning a lot, and that's good, but it's totally outside of what I am used to doing. And for those who were asking me also about the book is going really well. It's gone to the editor, it's come back to me, it's back with the editor again. And so we're still on track for like a mid-February, late February launch of the book, which will be a beginner's guide on Florida gardening. So very exciting stuff. I'm very excited that you guys are looking forward to it, and it will be there one way or the other. There's lots of great information. I'm very excited to share with y'all. But while you wait for that, let's go take a tour around this garden and see what's going on. What's happening? What's growing? So let's start the tour at the papayas. These papayas, I swear, they should have been ready. I don't know. I was telling my friend the other day, who is a fellow gardener, I think maybe with the papaya tree falling down, that maybe something happened with these papayas, because these basically were the papayas on this tree before the hurricane hit. And then you can see this is where they aborted all them. And then these are the new ones. And you can see these are very, like, I don't know if you can tell. These are very bright green, and then these are very dark green. And I'm wondering if these are just not gonna ever mature, and because these ones are growing at the rate that I'm used to, and these ones just seem to, I don't know, be hanging out. And my friend gave me, so as we discussed this topic, actually what she did, she then sent me some recipes because she was down in Guadalupe, and she was like, hey, they have some really awesome like green papaya recipes. I guess they grow like tons of papayas down there. And she was just like, yeah, and they do all these recipes with green papayas. So there was one that was really good. She just sent it to me last night. So I haven't tried it yet, so I can't tell you how good it is personally. But I'm really excited to try it. But I might end up having to like do something with these papayas because they're just hanging on here. And once we hit some like freezes, they're not going to be super happy. So that's why I had expected to have some papayas this month for a harvest, and I have had zero because they're hanging there. They're not finishing. And you can see the same with this one. You can see kind of this part where it got rid of all the papayas, and then these were the ones that were on, and they're I mean, I think they're bigger, but they're not a ton bigger. And I'm wondering with them, the whole tree flopping down and everything, like did this get damaged, and is that why this maybe doesn't want to finish? But you can see it keeps putting on more and more and more and more and more all the way up there. And then over here, you know, the corn is growing. Hey-o. And oh, this poor roselle snapped, I think during Nicole. And I just finished that harvest, so this is gonna get going and we're gonna get that out of the way. But we got the corn. My Ahise finally just died. It's been like 2 years there. And then all of our tropicals here, the loofah, the Puerto Rican black bean, they have not liked the cool weather and they are just on their way out. In the middle bed, all the peppers seem to be pretty happy. I just continue to feel like we maybe aren't getting enough sunlight in this area, which is a problem I want to solve for this coming season, but I won't deal with it until after the holidays. We do have tomatoes of all sorts of varieties that are growing like crazy. I haven't seen a ton of flower setting, except I do know there are some tomatoes on these. I think they're cherry bing, and these look like they're gonna be really yummy. So this will be fun to see how these do. There's actually a couple of Everglades tomatoes growing right there. And actually, can we talk? I think I told you guys they were weeds. The Everglades tomatoes, that they just actually are popping up everywhere. Can you see all of these have grown? I have not. It's the holidays. And I have been prioritizing family, and I have not. And you know what I just thought? I was like, hey, you know, this area is getting kind of crazy, and I want to reset stuff, but I want to do it kind of in a bigger way. And I just figured, you know what? Just let the Everglades tomatoes do that wherever they want to. So I'm letting them do it. It's super inefficient, and I understand that, and I'm okay with it. And I'm really kind of at the end of this year letting things go really wild. I'm really leaning into the wild part of Wild Floridian, and then we're going to do kind of a big reset in the beginning of the year. So enjoy all my little Everglades. Can you see this? Is this crazy? I know. Tomato plant. These are probably planted too close to each other, but these are all ones because little plants fell. You can see how many are in here. See, whole one right here. Oh, these ones are flowering. Yeah, see, just let them go with one. This one here. Also flowering. I don't know which type this is. Ben even asked about this one. That's right here on the sidewalk. He's like, did you plant that there purposely? I was like, no. No, I did not put it on the sidewalk. But you know what? I'm just letting it go, and we're gonna do some things differently this coming year, and I'm just gonna be okay with that, and we're just gonna let it do a thing. What's interesting though is the loofah on here has died out, but the loofah over here keeps trying to go strong. And we've had some Puerto Rican black beans. I gotta kill these. I don't want Puerto Rican black beans taking off again, or loofah. So these have tried to take off. Oh, but what you can see, it's flowering. These are Seminole pumpkins. They are coming back. It's just starting. I think I saw one right here. There you go. While I was talking to you guys. So you can see they are starting to put on fruit to set. So we'll see if we can get some Seminole pumpkins in these colder months, but they're starting to go. More Everglades tomato hiding over there. And because I'm gonna do this big reset in the garden in January, I'm just kind of like, whatever, just do your thing. Let all the neighbors stare and think I'm weird. But this next year, it's gonna be different. We're gonna do stuff. So we're gonna do some crazy stuff, and it'll be fun. Over here, so you guys may remember I had a strawberry in this pot, and I've had it here since February, March, sometime like that. And it actually has put on strawberries. and I've been eating them. It doesn't have a ton, but it's been doing a good job. So it went all the way through summer. One of the things you might notice that's a little different is you may be thinking, Jacqueline, that seems not like where that pot was, and that would be correct. This pot actually used to be back here, which I kind of let it be back here, semi-shaded out through the summer months because the sun's so intense. And then now that we're in the winter months, I moved it out here so that I could get more full sun. Well, full sun. I think we got too much. Look at me, look at this. We got so much shade around here. I don't know. I think it's just not getting enough sun, but this one's producing, so I'm very happy with it. So that's exciting. And from our strawberry, we are heading over here to our sweet potatoes, which have gone wild again. And I was going to harvest originally for November, and I ran out of time, and I have no idea if any of this is ready yet. I should be. Got lots of sweet potato greens going on, but I think this is time. One of the challenges, and this is kind of why I'm hesitating with some of this stuff, is that these raised beds are bad. The brand that I used before was very, very bad. It's completely rusting. And so basically once I harvest some of the stuff, the intent is to like totally take out these beds and chuck them because they are, remember I suspected they were gonna rust and they definitely did. You can see this is, remember I put these in like January, February of this year, and look at this. This is terrible. I mean, and the bowing and the damage, it's just, they're not well made. Versus that other bed I got in the summer, that thing is holding up perfectly. Thumbs up on that one. So I'll reuse these, not reuse, I'll buy more of that one, but I'm not. So basically I'm getting rid of all these beds. I tried them. So once I get the sweet potatoes out of here, the idea is to, but I want to do that when I'm ready to do it. And I'm not ready to do that now. But in this bed, this is like a little potpourri bed. We got cabbages starting, we got carrots all over the place, we got beets in between. This is like a fun little cold weather crop with one Ahise pepper who is sitting here thinking about life and not putting on any peppers, and is starting to really frustrate me. But look, I mean, see, it flowers. But where's my peppers? You gotta understand, this is very frustrating me on a lot of levels because I love Ahise peppers. I love just walking by and the fact that this little guy is just, he needs to start producing. But we're heading into the months where I don't think it's going to produce, so I don't like that. So if we get into the cold months and I get some of the projects going in the new year, I'm moving that pepper because I want those peppers. I have more seeds if I need to. I've saved them from other ones. Actually, I think I still have the original seeds Rosie gave me, and then I still have, and then I have seeds that I collected too this year. So, but yeah, so we got lots of cold weather crops right here. Very cute, very fun. And here's the crazy thing. I planned on getting rid of these cabbages and they came back. They lingered all summer and now look at them. They're all coming back. They look nice. I don't know what they're gonna do. I wonder if you can do cut and come again with cabbage. I've been thinking about that. Why do you have to wait for it to be ahead? Is it just an efficiency thing? Or is it because you actually like, because it's just leaves, right? I mean, I should probably look that up. But I've been thinking about that lately. Like, why can't I just do cut and come again with cabbages? Do I have to have a whole head? So maybe something to do, especially because if they can go through and look sad in the summer, but then come back once the weather cools down, like if you can really pull them through 6-8 months, you know, having them not have to form a full head here in Florida might be of value, kind of like how you with broccoli, you can get the one head and then you just keep coming back for the little ones. Maybe that's valuable. And then our last bed was our lettuce and strawberry bed. It got really hit by pests. Once it heated up, we just lost so much. And I don't want to put strawberries back in here. One, because you can see, look at this drop. This is crazy. So we're getting too much shade kind of all the way around. And since I'm planning on taking these out, I'm just, just kind of leaving what's in here, but I'm not putting effort into putting anything new in this one at this time. And then from there, here we go. Oh, it's the radishes. Oh, wait, that's not radish. That is an Indian nettle. I know that. Get rid of you. But those are radishes. So I've never grown radishes before. Ben says he's just meh about radishes. Oh, look. Is that good? I think these are called pink Pleiades. Maybe. I don't know. You tell me. Are they good? Are those good to go? Maybe I'll pull one. Maybe they're too close. Who knows? I impulse grew radishes this year. I don't even know if I like radishes. So maybe I'll be pulling those soon. Who knows? But behind you, bananas are doing great, as always. We got one rack, We got 2 racks. This one's still got a bunch of time on it. We actually had another rack just drop in November. I didn't even expect this one. If you guys remember, I was pointing to a different trunk that was gonna drop, and this one just came out, so that's really exciting. And then we have this one, which I think will be ready in December. It's gonna be close. It depends how, this is gonna be like a game of, is it hot, cold enough that this one can get finished before it gets too cold. And I suspect, oh, I'm right. I knew it was coming soon. You can see it right there. Can you see the color difference? There's the flower. So this is about to drop. I feel pretty good about being able to predict my bananas dropping. So that, once that drops in a couple weeks, that means we're gonna have 5 racks of bananas through the month of December, with this one maybe finishing in the month of December. It's really gonna depend on cold fronts. And this kind of brings us a question, Sandra D, you were asking. And I think we need to talk a little bit about this because, right, we've got people from North Florida to South Florida who watch this channel. And for my Central South Floridians, you know, you're in your 9Bs, your 10As, your 10Bs and 11As, like, especially the 10s and the 11s, your bananas can make it through our cold snaps. We rarely get cold snaps that are gonna kill your plant. It may be very unhappy. Trust me, they will get very unhappy, and they will let you know they're very unhappy. But we tend not to get freezes that last more than maybe hours. We don't really get them where they last days. Now, when you hit the 9Bs and the 9As, and of course the zone 8s in Florida, now we're talking about, you might have freezing temperatures where it's hitting for days, and then depending on your microclimate will depend on how warm or cold that's going to stay. And Sandra's problem, she wrote it on one of the other videos, and I know we're in the holiday season and I'm doing Vlogmas and I'm answering lots of questions, but instead of just making it wasn't enough for an individual video, but I figured I'd plop it in right here for Sandra. So here are my thoughts. When you live in like a zone 9A like that, and every year you're seeing your banana go and die back, but her challenge is it's dropping fruit, you know, a month before it starts freezing, which it's not enough time to finish it. Even during the warm months, it takes about 3 months from the time they drop their flower, depending on the size of the banana. But during the cold months, they're gonna go past 3 months, they'll go 4 months, so they can get back to that warm weather. So her flower's just dropping. Ugh, and she lives in 9A, and that sucks. So here's my thoughts. Because you typically lose your bananas to cold weather, what I actually recommend is that you just, because right now what's happening is that your banana is going to have to go through one of the most stressful times of year. Because while we can grow bananas in Florida, it's not where they come from. They come from a tropical climate, and we're technically subtropical. So we are cooler than they like to be. They are big old babies, and they do not like to be cold. They're like a Floridian, right? Honestly, it's 50 degrees, and we're like, hat, scarf, snow, and that's kind of like how bananas are. So if you're trying to get your banana to hold fruit and put energy into making fruit and go through the most stressful time of year, it's just not going to be, it's just statistically low that it's going to be successful. So what I would do is I would just get rid of that, you know, trunk that has the banana on it. And it feels really cruddy because you've just waited all year for it, and I'm telling you, like, go ahead and just chop that down. But here's the thought process, is that it puts its energy into making your nest banana. And because it takes about 9 months, what you're trying to do is get that clock started sooner, because if it's been holding on, putting energy into a banana rack, and then it dies, and now it's got to get the next one, really put the energy into putting the next stalk up, then it's kind of delayed. So if you just get it ahead and be like, goodbye banana rack, we're just gonna go bye-bye, and let it get going on that new banana pup, then what you do is you're gonna do cold weather protection for that banana when you hit your coldest months. You know, you put your hay around it, you put your blankets around it. That's my thought process, because then that gets your clock started a lot sooner in January, February. February is usually when we get our last, like, worst cold snaps, but then that puts it in February in a better spot to really go. And if you got some like nice hot compost, like things that are going to keep it warm, give it lots of nutrition, don't give it too much water in the winter, because the cells are kind of in the winter and they don't really want to absorb things, so you can get it waterlogged pretty easily. So I would do that. That's my thoughts. But I don't live where you live, and I have not had to deal with this. This is all based off of Jacqueline theory. So I'd like to open it up to is for those who grow bananas in the 9Bs and the 9As, what would your recommendations be for Sandra? Because You have the experience. I have the theory, you got the experience. So I'd love to hear from you and give Sandra some advice on what she should do, because her banana just dropped its flower. She's just getting her rack, and it's statistically unlikely that thing's gonna get all the way to maturity. What would be some of your recommendations on what you would do so we can help our buddy Sandra out? Let's carry on a little bit more. We got a few more plants or crops that we should go and hit before we wrap this up. So back here, and we got our bananas, and oh my gosh, even though it's not one of our edible plants, can we enjoy that climbing aster? The bees are going nuts. If you are looking to get bees in the wintertime to your crops, climbing aster, oh my gosh, they are everywhere. And over here is our compost, and look at it, just a few days after Thanksgiving, and there's a whole turkey carcass in there. So you can see, you're witnessing, it's not crazy. But we do have, yay, the hurricane happened. It was a big old bummer, but guess what we're getting? Mulberries. And that's very exciting. Oh, they're so good. Oh, these are good ones. Oh, there's good ones on here. Oh, so we might have a winter harvest of mulberries. Usually our big harvest is in spring. And so, and that's it. Usually it's in spring. And then we get little flushes throughout the year. But this one, oh, those tasted so good. Okay, those were yummy. So we'll have some mulberries. This banana, this is the one that we actually had the harvest from. It's been hanging here, it feels like forever. But none of these should be ready before the new year. So, but maybe a little bit of a mulberry heart. Oh, there's some good ones up high. Oh, they look good. Oh, look at this. Ah. Okay, I know it's not edible, but can we all just appreciate the climbing aster? It's so pretty. So pretty. And it is full of bees, and it has a really nice scent. And there's not a lot of plants that flower through the winter, and this is one of the ones. I ain't saying, I'm just saying, look at this thing. It's gorgeous, gorgeous. Okay, I'll take it in for a close-up, and then we'll continue to the last couple crops. I mean, what was there to say? This thing is so pretty. I don't even feel like the camera captures how pretty, and it does have a very nice light floral scent, which clearly the bees are just going nuts for. Man, put this near some tomatoes and peppers and watch your yields increase. Holy cow, there's so many bees on this thing. As we come through the gate, here's our calamanda tree, and it's literally drooping with the fruit on it. So I'm gonna definitely be able to make my marmalades and some, calamanda juice, so we can use it instead of lemon and lime juice. It is just so heavy with fruit. We did lose our one calamanda tree to the hurricanes, but the other one's hanging out over there, and our mulberries doing its job over there. And last but not least, you can see we got some oranges that are getting close. This is actually a little early for them, but I think the hurricane kind of changed that for us, because you can see some of these are already starting to turn orange, and I usually don't see this until late December, early January is when they tend to finish for us. I mean, look at these, they're close. They're getting close. Normally late January, early February is when we harvest these, so might be ready before the end of the year. And I hope that got you inspired for things that you can do in December. And if you need help with what to grow and when to grow it here in Florida, go to www.wildfloridian.net/guide for your free seasonal gardening guide. Totally free. And I'll give you tips and ideas for each season on what to grow. Okay, I'll see you soon. Bye.